wonder if there's this rad tool that I could go find or some sort of a tech tip that I could come up with that would be like mind-blowing, right? Like I have those all the time and I'm like, I wish there was just something for like, oh, there might be something. And that's why we have Will and Paige on the panel tonight. They're going to come out and they're going to share tech tips and show us how to win our game. What's up, guys?
Thanks, Sean, very much for that introduction. So I am going to take the hot seat tonight. Paige is going to take a week off because I have something that I want to share with everybody that, honestly, one night I just about threw my whole computer off of our deck because it got me so frustrated. And it's to do with video editing, and it's a really silly problem to have, but to find the solution for it took me about 3 days. And it also made me lose about 3 months of our content because I had to redo it all. So that was pretty awesome. And partly it was my fault because I'm the kind of guy who he'll find a program, he'll use it for a couple of weeks and be like, hi, you know what? I don't like that program anymore. Let's try using something else. So I think I'm into video editor number 4 now for me that I kind of have set on. But it has thrown up a problem for me that, like I said, it's really dumb, but it's kind of techy, and I'm going to try and explain this in the simplest form. So the problem I was having was, like I said, we lost a lot of content doing this, so we made a bunch of value videos, and also with the webinar and the new family funnel, that's where I really found it, where I did 2 hours of straight editing that I had to totally scrap. So anyway, I couldn't, when I uploaded the video into the editor, and then I do my editing, what would happen would be I'd only be editing the video portion, and the audio wasn't changing. So all the audio was out of sync. So when I went back, once all the videos were rendered and I hit play to rewatch them, I'd start them off, and like my mouth was moving, and the words weren't coming out. And then my mouth wasn't moving, and then the words started coming out in the audio. So it was all messed up. And it was really dumb, but like I said, really frustrating. It took me forever to find a tool that made doing this so much easier for me. But like I said, it was kind of my own fault. Anyway, I'm going to get into and share my screen and show you exactly what it is that I have. And it's a little program called Handbrake. And all it does is, and this might be more specifically for iPhone users because I'm an iPhone user, that's all we use to do our videos with, because every camera records at a slightly different level. And what I found out with iPhones is there's lots of different settings for the quality of your video. So you can do 720, 1080, you can do 30 frames a second, you can do 60 frames a second, all these different things. But the problem comes down to the frames per second. So even though when you're using an iPhone and you select, let's say 30 frames per second that you want to record at, that is the target. And it doesn't always record at 30 frames per second. Now, I didn't realize this and I thought that was kind of strange, but it can all come down to how full your phone is, how hard your phone is working, if it can't keep up. Your frames might drop off, all those kinds of things. So that's what was happening to us. So I was recording all of our videos at 60 frames per second. So making my phone work harder, I had lots of videos on there, it was, working really hard. So what was happening, the videos were actually being recorded anywhere between 30 and 60 frames, which, was really tough when you loaded it into certain video editors, so it made it really tough. I'm trying to keep this simple, guys, because I know I'm a techie nerd, but a lot of people aren't, so I'm trying to get the words into my head that simplify this down as simple as possible. So this program, Handbrake, the great thing is it's free, it doesn't cost you anything. You literally import your videos into... Yes?
Can Paige say the name of that program?
So it's hand and brake.
Like in a car, you got your handbrake in your car.
Yeah, we can type it in the chat roll too.
I'm about to share my screen so I can walk you through exactly.
So good. Love that.
Maybe point it out when he shares his screen as well.
Yeah, let me minimize a couple things here.
Holy cow, what's going on?
Okay, can everybody see my screen? Okay, awesome. So this is a tool here, is Handbrake, and it's really, really simple. I will drop the link into the chat after I've done presenting. So all you do, I'm just going to find a video really quick to show you guys how this works. Let me go down to video. So I've got one set up here. So it's really simple because it's a nice drag and drop feature. So this is the tool. Literally, you just grab your video file and you drop it in. It loads it up and it brings you to a summary page. So this gives you a thumbnail of your image, and then there's all your different details. I have a preset here up top, but we're not going to get into that. You guys can set that up when you use it yourselves. But all you need to do is import your videos into Handbrake, hit video, and see where there's peak frame rate and constant frame rate. That's the issue that causes this problem to happen. So when you load this up, it's going to default to peak frame rate, and it's always going to try and hit that top frame rate every time. What you want to have is constant frame rate. And then your video renders down through here, and it keeps it at that constant frame rate, and then when you go in and put it into your video editor, then you don't have these problems anymore. The other thing I love about this is it also cuts your video file size in half. So for the likes of all of us who are content creators and trying to store a bunch of, data, you can save a ton of room just by putting your videos through this program. And honestly, when you go to play back your videos, you can't see any difference at all. And bear in mind, everyone's main platform is Facebook. Facebook only goes to 720 quality, so bear that in mind when you're doing recordings. You don't need to have, the highest rate. And, their frame rate is, at 720 is only 30, so you don't need the 60 frames per second anyway. So that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. It's not, not super difficult, but literally this cost me so much time, so much content that I had to redo, and like I said, it broke my heart one night, and I just about launched my computer, and I was just about done. So
That's awesome, guys. That is a sweet little tool. Thank you for sharing that. There's a question from Aaron Ellis. Says, so you have an iPhone, yet you work on a PC, so maybe you can't answer this, but is the program more recommended for PC users or Mac?
If you're talking about Handbrake, Handbrake is one that you can use any platform.
Okay, awesome. Nikki wants to know what frame rate is ideal.
It really depends on what you're trying to do. So for example, if you're going to take a video and upload it into your video editor to then maybe slow it down in some spots, stuff like that, then you're going to want to record everything in 60 frames per second. Because then when you slow it down, you're only cutting your frame rates down to 30, and it's going to keep the kind of smooth flow of your video, even though that you slowed it down.
Cool.
I touched on it a little bit. If it's literally just for Facebook, 720 is fine. At 30 frames per second is perfect. I do everything in 30 on ours because no one has the most, godlike eyes. Let's say that. No one can really tell the difference between 30 and 60. Someone might tell you, like an avid gamer might sit there and say, oh, well, that screen, it's not 120, so I can't use it. It's just another marketing technique that people use. Honestly, you can't tell the difference. So depending on what you're going to use it for is what I say, depending on what your frame rate. But I use everything at 30, so.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for that. That was awesome. Moving right along. Check this out. Sometimes, so first of all, if that was fire from Will and Paige, write fire in the chat roll, because I know it was good. It's like a really powerful tool. I don't quite understand it. I think I do, but I don't. It's like when my voice lags off the video, or the frame rates suck when it's filming, like it speeds it up and it keeps it slow at the same time, so that's all good. But yeah, you got a lot of fire. That's cool. Maybe you'll win the gold belt. I don't know. But let me ask you this question really quick, guys. Who out there has stress? If you have stress, write yes in the chat roll, because I have stress, Monster has stress, everybody I know always has a lot of stress all the time. This is why we went to expert from Cranium Corner, Michelle Miller tonight, she's going to drop it like it's hot, and she's going to share the 3 fastest mental stress relieving exercises. So are you guys ready for this? If you're ready, right, heck yeah. Here we go. Michelle, what's up?
Yay! All right, I'm so glad I got this topic because this is like one of my like main focuses. So basically, what I have written down is I know we preach this, but mindful meditation is going to save your guys' lives. I'm not even kidding. And I try to practice meditation daily. I know I don't get it in every day, but it is a very big stress reliever. And I have like 2 little bullet points underneath of them, so it kind of ties in together with the meditation. So basically, if you don't know what mindful meditation is, it's just basically focusing on your breathing, focusing on being present, focusing on your body. And also in that you can do breath focus, which I do a lot. Basically, it's just focusing on breathing in and breathing out. You're not focusing on anything else. So if you have an idea or if you have a stressor, if you're thinking about the past, you're thinking about the future, if it comes into your mind, basically what I do is I take a hold, I'm aware of that, and I just say release. And I just want to release it. And it's kind of just like being aware and present and mental about it. And it's kind of weird, but trust me, it works. So basically, another one is also being body like conscious. So like doing a body scan. I don't know if anybody's heard of that. But basically, when you're meditating, you're focusing on your breathing, take a few deep breaths, and then you kind of feel like, where are you holding tension? Is it in your shoulders? I know mine's in my shoulders and my jaw is where I hold a lot of tension. Like if I'm clenching my jaw or if I'm like this, like you just kind of want to like, sorry guys, my voice is going out. I got sick tonight. But you want to just focus on whatever like area feels tight and just kind of like just either roll your shoulders or like mindfully unclench your jaw. Like just be aware and present like what's going on in your body. And another one I have written down is, which Miriam actually brought up, so I was kind of excited, earthing or grounding. And that is huge because I know I have a friend who gets a lot of social anxiety. Sorry, guys. He gets a lot of social anxiety. So he said that he would practice going outside in his bare feet, walking around, reconnected with the earth. And I know a lot of people say that helps, and I've done it too. Just like kind of like going out, taking your shoes off, just relaxing, feeling the breeze or whatever, and just being more connected and more present. And a lot of stressors come from either past or present or future thoughts. It's not really, you're not stressed in the present. You're either thinking about the future, and that's where your stresses and anxieties are going to come from. So being grounded, doing meditations, kind of bringing yourself back to the present and not worrying about the past, not worrying about what's coming next, just kind of being here, it's going to help you and it's going to keep your mind kind of clear. And my last tip is yoga, which I just started this week. I love yoga, and I don't know why I ever stopped. And it goes in with the mindful meditation, the breathing. You can do it outside for grounding. Just getting stretched out and kind of leaving your desk, leaving whatever you're working on in your business, kind of just take a minute to yourself and stretch your body out and just breathe. Literally just breathe. Because I know when I stress, I like stop breathing. But it just stretching your body out it just helps so much with stress, in my opinion. So I'll take a couple minutes and just like stretch myself out and breathe, and then I go back to doing what I was doing, and I feel a lot better. So I was excited about that one.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, I want to play a quick game with Michelle's part right there. Which of the 4, I think you gave 4, right? So you said mindful meditation, breathing focus, or are those kind of the same thing?
Breath focused and the body scan is kind of all in one.
Okay.
And then grounding or earthing and yoga, so the 3.
Okay, so there's 3, guys. I want you to write number 1 if you think mindful meditation and that good breathing is the best. 2, the earthing and grounding, or number 3 is yoga the right fit. Miriam, what is your takeaway from Michelle's part?
Wow. Well, I use all 3.
Yay!
So it's sort of, wow, which do you like better, food or water? Sort of how, or air. Food, water, air, which do you like best? I had to say, for me, I need to get grounded. That just happens to be my go-to.
Good.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Let's go to the geniuses of the week. What's your pick a poison or pick a awesome thing? relieve stress?
Well, it's really funny because as soon as Michelle started to present, she said breathing. And as soon as she said breathing, I just automatically took this gigantic breath in and exhaled. And it was just like involuntary. She said breathing, and I just, and it was like cathartic. It was amazing. So for me, it has to be breathing.
Well, for me, it would be grounding because I, much like Miriam, get into my head. And so I need to kind of root myself back down.
I love this. I love this. I love this. And it is teeing it up for our young superstar, Shane Carling. He's about to hit a grand slam, bigger than any grand slam that's ever been hit, even by Baby Ruth. I love that. But check this out, guys. If you have anything in your life that holds you back, say I, if you could say I. Secondly, I know I do, right? So write I in the chat. There you go. Everyone's writing I. That's cool. Oh, we got Tina with the I. That's even better. So tonight, we have special guest genius with us, Shane Carling. This dude is the man, the myth, the legend, the musician, the artist, the life changer. Also a co-founder in something called the 7-Day Weekend Mentors, which is amazing. But tonight he's here to share all kinds of mind-blowing value about 6 things that hold most people back and how to crush them. Shane, I'm so excited to have you. How are you, man?
Oh man, I'm doing so good, and I want to just say thank you guys. I'm so excited to be a part of this show, and I want you all who are watching this to know one thing is that I fully intend to add some value to you that will change your lives and help you explode your business and your team's businesses, because it's not about your success, it's about your team's success. And everybody hits walls, and there's always a mindset, a soul set, and a skill set to get over that obstacle, okay? And I've gone through a lot of incredible journeys in my entrepreneurial career, and I'll give you a little fast track on my life and how I got here, because I think at all times in our lives we should ask ourselves, how did I get here? So I'm going to give you a couple little night and day stories here. So in my youth, I didn't have any friends. I was very socially inept. I know it's hard to believe. I was the guy that was so nervous, even around girls, which is funny because my wife is like the most beautiful woman on the planet. She's so amazing. But I remember one time in grade 12, I was so just fearful. And I never had any friends in high school. So there was this girl named Jenny that I kind of liked. And this one guy was like, well, you should go ask her out. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And so he's like, just go and do it. Just go and ask her out. So I walked up to her, and I was this sweating, nervous, shaky mess. And I walked up to her, and I was like, ooh. And I just spewed. I barfed in my mouth. I was so nervous. Oh, my gosh. And so she just thought this dude made this really funny face and kind of spat at her. Right? And I run away. And guys, so how did I get here? I just want to explain something. So that was awesome. But, you know, I didn't have any friends. So I didn't have any friends pulling me into some social direction. So when I got out of high school, I just got into the easily accepting crowd. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be accepted. And so I got into the easy accepting crowd. I'm a musician. I always had a guitar. For me, this was how I vented. This is how I communicated. This is how I thought. And I had a guitar since I was like 9. So, I mean, I'm probably in the 20,000 hour club now. I don't know. But, you know, so I go home and play guitar. You know what I mean? But when I got out of school, I quickly found out I didn't try in school. I didn't have any good grades. I cheated my way. There was this girl who she would always give me the answers for math. And so I literally, like, I ain't qualified. You know what I mean? I didn't feel worthy of getting a good job. I ended up folding laundry at a hospital for $22 an hour. And then it was a union thing, and all these people came back, and all of a sudden I had no work. And so I started making some slippery slope decisions, got into the wrong crowds, wrong company, made bad decisions, and, you know, got into drugs and partying. And my life went right down. And I'll give you guys a long story short was I ended up at the very bottom of the most darkest abysses you could imagine, okay? Addicted to drugs, friendless, no family, isolated, living all by myself, didn't talk to anybody for almost 2 years, lived in the woods in a cabin growing pot for like a while, and then I got busted to throw all the crap on the pot. Like, that was me. I was the guy who screwed absolutely everything up. And so at that point, suffering from withdrawals, oh yeah, and then the one girl who I was kind of with at that point in my life was cheating on me. So everything just straight up went to hell. And I had to ask myself, how did I get here? Now, I decided to change my life and just, you know the movie Yes Man with, what's his name? Jim Carrey? Just say yes. Okay, so I took a personal development course called Live by Design by this great guy named Troy Mitchell. And it was my first kind of thing, and I decided to change everything. I went to church, personal development, and I just started working on me, reading books and all that kind of stuff. Think and Grow Rich was one of the good ones. And so I started saying yes, and I took on opportunities as they would arise. I got into sales at a cell phone company, and I had a fear of heights. Some guy offered me a job as a roofer. Figured that would be a great way to conquer that, right? Plus, with a criminal record and not being able to work and having no education, basically roof, you know what I mean? But I got over the fear heights, got into this girl who I was at this personal development course with. Her name was Danae Johnson, who's now a TV show host for a bunch of cool stuff and does radio. She was sitting outside the mall one time, and she was doing some acting at this theater play called Quad. And so there was 4 actors, 4 characters. Each of us had to learn all 4 parts because the crowd got to pick who played what role at the beginning of the show. So basically, I went from working as a roofer to doing acting, and then a guy who worked at a cell phone store asked me if I wanted to go and learn sales all around the same time. So I had to learn 8 hours of script in 2.5 months. We ended up crushing that play out, and it was just awesome. And I was really grateful for those opportunities of just saying yes and conquering fear and conquering fear and conquering fear. I wanted to share my music with the world, so I moved to Vancouver 2010, and I had literally no friends here. Okay, I was fish out of water, big city, very expensive. Just to give you guys some context here, it's one of the most expensive cities in North America to live. A 1-bedroom small apartment will cost you about $2,200 to $2,400 a month. Okay. Now, at the time, I was making $2,400 a month at the cell phone store. So I had roommates, and it was a big mess, and so it was really messy in my environment. And I was trying to get my music out there. I had no connections, no people, no nothing. Didn't know what I was doing, and I was eating pizza and drinking coffee. Eating pizza because it was $1 a slice, and I could afford that. Actually, this is and I was a gym guy. I'm like, well, it's got protein, it's got cheese, so that's dairy. And I got my carbs. And I would make sure I always got the deluxe because it had the green peppers. So I had my olives and my green peppers. So I had my vegetables. Actually, this actually somehow made sense to me. But I was actually so broke. I actually can't tell you. Okay, so I was. I'll give you. I'm going to confess some sins here too, so you really get to like me. So I used to have to break up with girls before it got past Starbucks because I only had like $50 in my bank account, and there was like no way I was going to be able to afford a dinner. So I was like, guys, it's over. Done. Past Starbucks? What? No, I can't do that. You have any idea how broke I am? This is not happening. So, yeah, I mean, you're either going to love me after that or hate me, but I'm open to it. So, but again, I just kept going and saying yes to things. I met this health coach because my health, because of the pizza and the coffee routine, was really going downhill fast. He introduced me to this amazing water technology I'm sure we're all super familiar with, okay? Boom! 6 weeks later, guys, this guy put me on, Kangen water, organic raw food, everything, and, it literally transformed my life. In 6 weeks, I went from feeling like just death and having no energy to feeling like Adonis, shooting lightning bolts out of my fingertips and eyeballs. I was like, and this had such a crazy impact on my health. I was lit up, and I was playing guitar, and I was so much more inspired, and I was out there rocking things. Again, I wanted to get my music out to the world because in all those dark times and all the best times, I had this music, and I knew that God gave me a vision and a mission to share this music with the world. I just had no idea how that was going to show up. And all of a sudden, I quit my job at the cell phone company, and I gave this dude every last penny I had, all my savings, my pension plan, everything, just so he could teach me how to be healthy. And I ended up becoming one of the highest paid personal trainers in Vancouver, making $75 to $100 an hour all day long. It's pretty sweet, you know what I mean? That's not bad. And I met a lot of interesting people, dealt with so many people, helped so many people with their health transformation. Now, in that, I just want to explain something. So I started to realize that what I really, my dream was to crush out the time and the financial thing so that I could get back and stop being a yellow-bellied chicken and get back to the music. I just didn't know how that was going to look. But if you've ever done a personal training thing, you have no life. You're not allowed to have a life. You are a slave to your clients. And so I was running around building to building, trying to train people, and I had no time. I had money, just didn't have any time. And so the idea of network marketing and online marketing was always there. I had a lot of friends who were very successful in that, and so I met this guy named Balaj Carlos, which is really funny story. This crazy networking party. He was doing this cell phone company door to door. I remember he was driving this red minivan. He was just like this hilarious dude, you know what I mean? So freaking funny. And he was always going like this when we were out drinking, and he was just a funny guy. Anyways, one day I was doing this protein shake network marketing deal for my clients on the side, and I call him up. I'm like, hey man, I got a way you can get, like, literally this is how it went down. I met him at like a couple weeks before at this networking thing, and all of a sudden this goes off my head. Call Balaj Carlos. And I was like, I think I should just message Balaj. Easiest sell of my life. I'm like, hey man, I'm doing this network marketing deal, and it can give you a black BMW. And he's like, stop right there, I'm in. I was like, really? Yeah, I just bought a BMW. Tell me how I get it for free. I'm like, sign some people up. I'm in. Okay, cool. So anyways, that stuff was a crappy product that just made us basically fart up a crap storm. So we just had to stop doing that. And we got into a coffee business, and I thought we were rocking this thing. We did that for like a year and a half, best buddies, rocking stuff. And then he was like, man, because I had a Kangen machine, you know what I mean? And he had one, and he was like, man, I'm going to go do a Nagin. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? You can't just go and leave. You're my top guy. And he's like, no, man, I'm going to go do it. And I was like, but I got a machine, so who's going to join it? And his mom was already in that, so we're like, okay. So I says, if you make some money and you can prove that this thing works, I'm all in. I'm going to join. We're going to go do this thing. And so he made like $4,000 that month, and I was like, really? Okay, I'm in. So that was it. So I signed up under him, and we just did this thing. We rocked it. We had a lot of fun. We rocked it all the way to 6A, got him to 6A, and all these really amazing things happened because he got a bunch of online marketer guys on board, and all this amazing stuff started to happen, right? So really fun. Now, I just want to explain a little. In that process, we dealt with like thousands of people, okay? And I also, took a little sidewinding journey and went on some other entrepreneurial paths that ultimately led me back into this. But I figured out a formula to just launch like people grenades, just like, whoa, people growing, big massive teams. Like I just took my business partner and I, and we just took another thing to like 5A in like not even a month. You know what I mean? A few weeks, we're like, oh, we're gonna be at 6A in like a couple more weeks. It's just crazy how. But there's some things I want to teach you guys to do this, okay? Because I've been able to start fresh over and over and over again, okay? And sometimes people, like, they have their existing networks. I'm like, I challenge each and every one of you that every single one of you guys can be thrown in Iceland, brand new place, brand new people, not know anybody, and make a rock star business. Boom, just like that. There's a way to do it. But you got to understand some deep things that are holding people back. Now, where's my life at right now? For the last couple of years, I didn't even do anything. I was making over 5 figures a month residually, and just through a deep spiritual quest and meeting awesome people. Like I'm hanging out on islands with guys who make well over $1 million a month all the time, and private islands, flying all over the place. I was taking a vacation every 4 to 6 weeks, just hanging out and doing crazy masterminds at like how we change the entire world. You know what I mean? And it was just and I had to stop right there. I was like, okay. How did I get here? And then I was in Cabo, and I had my guitar. This was in November, and we came up with this whole 7-day weekend mentor thing because I was like, I'm playing guitar, and all of a sudden I started having this absolute feeling of crap because I set out to pursue my music. I needed to crush the time of the financial thing. All of a sudden I had it, and I was like, what I did worked, but now what? Am I here? Like, where do I go? Is this it? Is this what it looks like? Guys, where you want to go isn't going to look the way you think it's going to look. It's going to be so much different, maybe so much better. But when you get there, how do you even know? You're just like, maybe you're already where you want it to be already. And you just don't even know that. And now you have to do the next thing. And so for me, I was like, well, I got to do the music. So I came up with this idea of like every single day for the last year, X, Y, Z, I've been living every day like the weekend. Like, absolutely. Because what I do, I love what I do. I love, even if I'm doing this does not work. This on a meeting, on a presentation, none of that is work. Every day is fun. Every day is bliss. Every day is joy. Every day is love. And every day is so fulfilling. And every single one of you guys should have that mindset. Even if you work a job, even if there's something going on in your life, you have relationship, health, environment, anything like that, if you learn how to process things, which I'm going to get into, to literally live every single day, every moment, right now, in this moment, right now, it is the weekend for you, okay? You can be free. You can be truly, truly free indeed, okay? But it's how you're processing things. And you know, I learned some stuff, and I want you to write this down, okay? I want you to write this down. This is so important, and this is something I want you to really chew on, because this is going to affect everything that you do. And if you read this over and over again, every day, read this over again, I bet you this will change your life tremendously. Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up. Guys on the screens here. The level of your confidence comes through in the power of your language. I'll say it again so you can write it down. The level of your confidence comes through in the power of your language. Now, if somebody's really good at typing, they can type all this out in the chat so other people who are in the chat can copy and paste it, okay? But I'm going to finish the whole thing here, okay? So the level of your confidence comes through in the power of your language. The fastest path from where you are now to where you want to be is in the language you speak to yourself and others. The fastest path from where you are now to where you want to be is in the language you speak to yourself and others. What comes out of the mouth is the contents of the heart. What comes out of your mouth is the contents of your heart. Everything is a heart issue. What comes out of the mouth is the contents of the heart. Everything is a heart issue. And it all boils down to I want to be loved and I want to be worthy. Okay? It all comes down to love and worthiness. So, let's do a little bit of a deep dive. Now, before I do any else, I want to reintroduce two new words to you guys. By introducing these two new words, it's going to help you understand how to shape the way and shift the way that you think, and also it's going to be a fantastic way for you guys to help your prospects actually look at things in a right mindset. Objective and subjective. Okay, the word objective means to look at something simply based on facts as evidence appears. The word objective is to look at something as facts alone, with no emotion, with no opinion, with no bias, with no story, with no judgment. It's just simply looking at the facts. Okay, and I'm going to give you an example in a second. The word subjective is when we put a filter on stuff. Okay, this is subjective. I know Sean he was giving me a little bit of grief about all my pictures have sunglasses in it, and I says, but these are mirrored sunglasses, Sean, and it's really just you can see yourself. So when you're looking at me, you're really looking at you because all of us are one. But anyways, subjective is that when you're looking at something with an opinion, with a bias, with a story, with a narrative, with a judgment on top of it. Okay, so you're putting your crap on top of things, and that's okay. Sometimes it's good. But most of the time, it's not serving you at all, okay? Now, another two words, responsive and reactive. Responsive is when you look at something, you're able to process it, respond in an appropriate way without being reactive or volatile, okay? Reactive is when you're reacting. Someone cuts you off, you call them a blah, 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 or you give them the bird, okay? That's called reacting. All right, now, are you guys, give me a thumbs up. Are you liking these two words? Why am I introducing these two words? Okay, I'm going to give you something else. This is going to be fun. I love triggering people. I love triggering people. Okay, I'm going to do one for you guys. This is going to be really, really fun. I'm being completely objective here, okay? I'm not asserting any positive or negative bias, okay? Now, are you ready? Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America. Now, some people love Donald Trump. Some people do not like Donald Trump. That's okay. Those are both subjective. But what is really objective is that he is the president of the United States of America, correct? Okay, so if I say that, some people got so triggered, they're like, I don't want to listen to Shane again. Screw Shane. He's an idiot. He must be a Trump supporter. And they're off. Or some other people are like, I freaking love that guy. He's freaking sweet. I'm going to mail him like $10 million. Well, I'll give you guys my mail address later on. But I just want you to understand something, okay? Objective is where you want to be able to look at stuff. When you're talking to your prospects, when you're presenting, a machine, you're presenting a business, an opportunity, what are the filters that are coming up? They're subjective filters. I don't have enough money. Their issues around money, all of their triggers, all of their subjective viewpoints, right? Objectively, you're looking at something as well. This product is X amount and is absolutely worth it, 100%. Because it's this is the results that people are getting. These are great objective things, but people will judge themselves out or in. They judge you as someone who's just trying to make money on that. That's a subjective story. That's their crap, right? And what happens is you guys got to understand that when you can walk people through that, then you're going to be able to create a lot of transformation. Okay, now, simply even in your process, your sales process, to introduce those words to people, and then you tell them, hey, listen, I want you to pay attention to where you might be being subjective on things, and really try to look at this objectively. Okay, just as the facts are, and I'm going to present it objectively, but pay mind if you're being subjective, and then we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about where any of those subjective triggers came up for you so that we can help you work through them. Objectively. That right there, guys. Now, you've also planted some amazing, powerful seeds for them to start looking at the world in a lot more of a higher sense, because we wrap the world around our mind. Like, we identify ourselves as these thoughts. And I'm going to get into all of the 6 things in a second here, okay? But you got to realize that objectively, you are not your thoughts, okay? Like Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now. Fantastic book to read. I love like a good reset with some Power of Now. At least once a month, just listen to the audiobook. It's this little ding bell. It's so sweet. And you listen to it, ding. You're like, oh, class is on. The teacher is speaking. Get ready, okay? Because, guys, your thoughts come up. Your thoughts are subjective. If you're feeling anything other than love, joy, and peace, which is what you feel in a meditative state of calmness, being earthing, mindful meditation, okay? If you're feeling anything other than that, sadness is thought. Anger is thought. Revenge, judgment, malcontent, anything, mockery, scoffery, anything that is other than love, joy, and peace that you feel being present is when you are identifying who you are as thought. People have these thoughts, and they just wear their thoughts like a thought helmet, but it's not actually who they are. Has anybody here, show their hand, ever got stuck in a loop thought cycle? Where you're just thinking about something, that relationship, that addiction, that environment, that relationship, that's something going on in your life, okay? Well, guys, if you really truly understand that there is an awareness of the people you're talking to, they are light that has deceived itself as identification with thought, fears, programs, subjectivity, okay? They've got confused, and they forgot who they are. They're not being light right now. They're looking at the world. They're looking at you like this. Sean, I think you're a great guy, but, right? Like, thought, subjectivity. And your prospects are going through this process as they're trying, because they're like, look, they're dealing with stuff going on in their life. There's an addiction happening in their life somewhere. They're tight on their budget, they're maxing out their credit cards, things are going all over the map, people's lives are a freaking disaster, and they're trying to look at some opportunity that's going to save them, and then they try opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, thinking that the what will save them. It's never the what. The what is important. I mean, you make sure that you're doing something legal, moral, and ethical and long-lasting and good, but it's not about the what, it's how you show up and how you flow through things. You can have a million things happen to you, but if you know how to look at things objectively, and if you develop the tools to process things that are happening to you, then you can stay on point. But when you get taken off point, when you're not being productive, when you find yourself stuck, there's always a reason. There's always something that's holding back, and it's 100% it's you. It's always you, because you're allowing yourself to get stuck in these thoughts. Now, here are the 6 things. Write these down. Number 1, addictions. It could be sex, drugs, rock and roll, Facebook, scrolling, trolling. It could be partying. It could be chasing members of the opposite sex. You know, it could be like so many things that just fight for your mental territory. When you get stuck in a loop, a circular thinking, a circular thought, that's also an addiction, okay? Because you're getting little dopamine kicks by wrestling up that argument or, you know, that thing or that debate or that television show or whatever it is that's taking up your mental real estate, which is extremely valuable, precious mental real estate, okay? Your mind should be used as a tool to get things done. But it's so easy for the mind to get stuck in these little vortexes of just thinking, right? And even that in itself is an addiction. Okay? Abby says, preach! All right, here we go. I'm bringing out some more. All right, the number 2 is negative relationships. Right? Has anybody had a bad relationship?
Yep.
What was that like? Remember when we were like 15 or like 8, whatever. Like for me, I was like 20 or whatever. I don't want to tell you guys how old I was because I was such a dork. But you know, you guys, does anybody remember the first few like rocky road relationships where it was like, you know, just like not so great, not so healthy, maybe not so expedient. Okay. And how many hours a day did you spend like dealing with the crap? And some people might still be going through that, by the way. I'm not judging anybody. Again, no judgment here. This is just straight objectively. So these things come and take our place, and they take up a lot of time. The next one, and this is huge, environment. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. Okay? Now, in 2014, I decided to rent a penthouse. It was huge. It had a freaking balcony in the living room. It was massive. Downtown Vancouver. This was not cheap. So to make it work, I had to have a couple roommates. I just decided I wanted a penthouse, and now the first batch of roommates were freaking awesome. But unfortunately, I signed this whole year contract, and then like 3 months in, these guys couldn't afford their bloody rent, and I was stuck, so I had to go and get anybody I could get. And I got a guy who was an oil rig worker, whoops, and another guy who worked at the nightclub. So, old bad habits came back quick and in a heartbeat because they just brought, it was just really bad, okay? So I quickly, I learned that your environment exceeds your willpower, okay? If people are bringing things around, doing things, partying, you're going to be so distracted. I thought it'd be good for my business for a short term, it was, because people come over like, oh my gosh, you're in this penthouse, I'll just do whatever you're doing, and then they would just buy my machines, you know, it'd be so awesome. But then I got so distracted. I just like pitter-pattered out, and I was dealing with crappy roommates, and it's just my life literally became super reactive, and it was not good, okay? I had to get the heck out of there. Actually, it's kind of funny. I met my wife. She showed up at one of the music jam night parties. I bought a piano and all these instruments, and I invited all these people over to come play music. And then one night she was in there, she saw me, and then as soon as we met, she was like, you need to move the hell out of here, man, or we ain't gonna be together. So I was like, okay, well, cancel the penthouse, and let's just go somewhere else. Yeah, so good things happened there. Thank God for my wife. Oh, by the way, wives are amazing. So that's another one. Okay, so here's another one, guys. Pride. Your people do not know how to ask you if they need help, or they don't know how to ask you for help. And you don't know this. But there's a million things that are going on in their lives. A lot of people are truly struggling, and they're not telling you. They're not telling you what's going on. They don't, and so I'm going to give you guys the tools to ask questions, to just not like pry and be invasive, but to let people in you, and maybe I can just tell you right now, you need to let people in your team really know that they can trust you, that they can be confident in you, that they can confide in you, and you're not there to be a therapist, but you're there to be a friend. because the meaning of life is relationships, guys. And we all got a lot of crap to work through. None of us are free. None of us are like have actually made it. You know what I mean? None of us are perfect. We're all gonna have stuff that's gonna show up and happen in our lives, and it's gonna happen again. And then you get to a certain place, you're at the new level, and then guess what happens? New devil, baby. You better get ready. And then it's gonna be like new set of circumstances, a new set of challenges. And it's really easy for people to kind of relapse, to go back into old mindsets and old paradigms that we're not self-serving them. So to be a loving coach or mentor, to be that person, that confidant that they can always confide in, they can open up to, you're going to have, like, I've got some of the most incredible friendships from this industry, guys. I just want to let you know, like, your best friends are still yet to be had. And you'll never have non-best friends. Everybody's a best friend. The other one, victim. It's your fault, Sean. Sean, are you making money? It's your fault. I joined this program, and it's like, you didn't support me, and you didn't do the things I need to get. And, you know, I don't feel like I'm getting everything I need. Guys, victim. So we all seen it, and maybe at certain times we've all played it. Okay? But it's if you're ever looking and blaming anything that's external, okay, and you catch someone who's doing it, so it's not to make someone who's playing the victim card wrong. By the way, it's not about making someone right or wrong. It's about understanding their paradigm and letting them know that you truly understand that, and help them shift out of that victimhood to learning to step into personal responsibility. Okay, I think that personal development is fine for, you know, to a certain degree, but what's really going to step everybody's life up, guys, the whole personal development thing needs to evolve into personal responsibility. Personal responsibility, okay? Above and beyond everything, personal responsibility. Accept that you've made your life and you are where you are. It's 100% you. I was 100% me. I did 100% of the things, all good, bad things, whatever. That's on me, okay? And I throw it on myself. That way I'm never looking outside. And I always say, if I want to change my circumstances, I need to change me, okay? It's never someone else. It's always me. And when you get to that level of total personal responsibility and releasing everybody, all expectations from anyone else, and you allow it to be on you, then you have power. But when you blame and you look at other things and other people and you're like, well, it's not because of that, and you compare and you contrast and you vilify, then you're trying to move forward in life while you're holding on to this giant bag of crap and taking it with you. Okay? You are not free. You can never be free if you're looking outside of yourself for where your situation in your life is at. But when you take it all and just say, this is me, baby, I got this, everything good, bad in my life, 100% me, then you can truly be free because you release everything. It doesn't matter because now you can be present in the moment rather than letting your thoughts spin and get into circular motions around why this or why that or why them or why they. Okay? And this is another one. Okay, how many of you are actually being present with me right now? And how many of you have, while I was even talking, allowed your mind to go into la la land, or looked on Facebook, or looked at some text messages, or looked at something, or did something else, for even just a brief moment? That's called multitasking. How is that showing up in all areas of your life? Again, going back into personal responsibility, nobody can run a race while they're cross-eyed. Like, you know, imagine some guy trying to like run like this, or someone who's texting and driving all the time. They're more likely, they've made texting and driving illegal, okay? But some of y'all multitask. You try another company because you're trying to do this. You're trying to dabble. You're trying to do things over here. I have never, not once, out of anyone I've ever met, seen anyone who can successfully do two things at once. You can kind of half-ass some things, but do you guys want to like be a rock star at one thing and just be boom, like crush it and be totally free in that and own it completely and go 100% with 100% of your mind and 100% of your focus and 100% of your heart and soul and get the fruit and live that fulfilling, purpose-filled experience? Or do you want to like kind of half-ass like 2 or 3 different things? 5 or 6 different ventures, what you got going on. Like you're totally over here, you're doing this, you're kind of doing that. guys, I want you to understand something. A plane to take off the ground needs to go 100%. Okay, it's got like when you get to a certain when you're at altitude, hey, you can back off. You don't need to do 100%. But now it's time to how can you take it to another plane? How can you take it to another level? Okay, but people right at the beginning because they get the glitter vision, the shiny object syndrome. Oh, Mark over there, he made 50,000. Well, this opportunity doesn't work, so I'm going to go join Mark over there. And then they get into that, and then because you get caught up in the what, thinking it's the what. Again, going back to personal responsibility, it's never the what. What is important? Okay, it's important, but it's how you are showing up and how you are flowing. The reason I've been able to have success is because I am focused. I absolutely cut things out. And go like this, okay? Now, when I get to certain levels, I was like this for like 5 freaking years, okay? Like, my ass, boom, y'all make stupid money. And I'm okay now, you know what I mean? And it was worth it. And all the people who decided they were like this for a little while, and then they're like, oh, I don't think it's working. I don't know if it's working. And all of a sudden, they're like, oh, and they took that, and I was like, dude, you were like right here. You were right there, and you stopped, and you should have just kept going, but they didn't. And then guess what? Then you see them in the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. There's some dudes that I talk to all the time, like 6 years later, and they still made a freaking dollar. Like, well, yeah, but I've seen you in like 50 different companies. How's that working for you? You know what I mean? You gotta show up, guys. You gotta flow up. You gotta be focused. You gotta not multitask, okay? Focus is an acronym. Follow one course until successful. Then you can do what you want. Like for me, it was get to that point and then get to my music, okay? And I decided, it was kind of funny. So now I'm gonna get to the music. But how? I'm gonna get to the music by helping other people get to their music. Right? By helping them show up and flow up and succeed, tapping into this amazing DGL community and all you bunch of badasses, okay? But because this is like, seriously, you guys have no idea how blessed you are. I mean, I've seen other things like, man, you guys just got such a heart-centered, crushing it killer team here. I'm so excited. I see the stuff that's going on. I'm like, man, like when Sean and Chris and I know I'm just going off for Sean here, but when we met, I was like, dude, these guys are straight talking our language. Like they just totally get it. We're so on point and same language. And at a certain point, I just want to tell you guys this, is there is a means, like the ends, I don't know how to describe this, but at a certain point, whatever your passion is, okay? For me, it's music. Maybe for you, it's golf. Maybe for you, it's art. Maybe for you, it's building, never thirst wells. For someone else, it could be building schools, building orphanages. At a certain point, you need to think about what your end needs. How much money? Okay, I'm going to reverse the building. How much money do you actually need to make to get to where you have enough money coming in to actually get to the part of your life that really scares you? Because building your business can actually become a comfortable thing. And that was my thing. I was like, oh, but I gotta go and play guitar. All my programs and fears come back. I'm like, nobody's gonna like your music, Shane. You just play guitar. Who are you? You can't be, you're not worthy. I'm like, this is the stupid stuff that comes up in my head. Like, who the heck is that Shane? That's the Shane that barfed in his mouth talking to a girl in grade 12. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta get over that crap. And so for me, I'm just like, stadium status. How am I gonna do that? Well, get your music out through a bunch of marketers by helping them market and freaking have a whole fun time, and then next thing you know, you're playing on stage in Grant Cardone's 10X dance or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, let's just freaking hit it and go big. So I'm not even thinking about how my music. I'm thinking of how I use this business as a vehicle to get to a certain level where I've helped enough people that enough people follow the story and the music so that they show up in a stadium and everybody gets it and everybody knows each other. It's just this amazing, beautiful family kind of thing. And so thinking like 10X, but again, the reason I've been able to work through these things, the addictions, the negative people, negative relationships, the environment, the pride, the victim, multitasking, the answer for all of it is personal responsibility. The answer for all of it is personal responsibility. Know your priorities, okay? Know your priorities. And don't play small on yourself, because all of these things are just cop-outs. They're cop-outs. You're playing small in your life. You have so much more capable potential inside of you. You have so much more capability than you could ever imagine. And I promise you, I actually can stone cold guarantee it. I don't know how I'm going to honor the guarantee. If it doesn't work for you, I'll give you $5. Just send me your email address. If this doesn't work for you in 10 years, okay? But trust the process, and it's easier than you think. It's absolutely easier than you think. When you actually walk in alignment and congruency, and that's a big one. Walk in congruency with your highest values. Walk in integrity. Walk in honesty. Be vulnerable, okay? Don't hide stuff. The stuff that you're not saying to your spouse, the stuff that you're not saying to your friends, the stuff that you're hiding deep within, your secret stuff, the private stuff you don't want anybody to know, the stuff that you're hiding is hurting you. It's hurting you so much, and it's holding you back, and you're disconnected. But look, I don't care about telling people about how I was addicted to drugs. I don't care. It doesn't shame me. You know, shame is like the lowest. Go read this book, The Maslow's Hierarchy of, and you realize that shame is of the devil, man. It is the lowest frequency thing. And why do you want to hide stuff? Why hide anything? And going back to what Michelle was saying, and thank you, Michelle, because I mean, what you said was so on point about, like, those are great ways to help clean the energy. Is mindful meditation, right? Mindfully meditating and really learning how to process and clean things. So anyways, I wanted to hit you guys with some value tonight. I hope you got some good takeaways. I hope you understand that personal responsibility trumps personal development, and all you need to do is look within, guys. You have absolutely everything you need. Stay absolutely focused. Things are going to come up, but if you understand how to reach out to people and how to ask the questions for the people who you're prospecting, people who are in your team, learn how to get them to look at things objectively and responsively rather than being hidden and subjective and reactive. If you can open those doors for them by being vulnerable yourself, you're going to get them to open up, and you're going to have a much more heart-connected business, and people are going to love you, they're going to trust you, they're going to follow you, they're going to confide in you, they're going to become best friends with you, and they're going to grow with you, and they're going to go with you guys, okay? So there you go. Boom.
Woo! Dude! That was, oh my gosh, guys, if you're mind blown, drop an emoji or write mind blown in the chat, because that was super epic, so simple. If you didn't catch that, you're going to have to go watch the replay. That's all I got to say, because what Shane just shared is the key, the thing, the one thing that you can do to change everything. He said it at the end, and I'm going to repeat it as I drop the poll for everyone to vote. The one thing he said was personal responsibility trumps all 6 of the negative things that he talked about. That's it. Like, that one sentence can truly change your life. Like, just think about that for a second. Anyway, Shane, I love that. Thank you so much. I'm going to come right over now, too. We're going to do the panel, and we're going to see, as everyone else is voting here, what did you guys think? What was your favorite part? Who'd you vote for? Who gets the golden belt tonight? Let's start with Michelle.
Okay, so I definitely voted for Shane. That was freaking amazing. That gives me a whole new perspective on everything. You, like, totally hit the nail on the head. I loved it.
Yeah, awesome. Was there anything that really stuck out to you, Michelle?
Just being congruent and staying focused. That is the hardest thing I have in my business. And, like, I put in the chat roll with Jay Lee, I'm a really good half-asser. I am multitasking all the time. So, like, I just need to focus on one thing, get it done, like, nothing else, just get that one thing done. So, yeah, that's definitely something I need to work on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's go over to Tracy and Dina.
Woo! Voted for Shane.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I was tempted to vote for Tracy and Dina, but they were weak, so they're going to have to bring it a little bit better next time. But so Shane got my vote, and at the beginning, I was listening to his story, really neat, didn't connect with that part, but I did connect when he started talking about, the 6 steps, and I felt like he was actually speaking to me. So there was a couple of things in there that I was like, Shane, how did you know? And so I just got to raise my security on my Facebook page, I think. And so stop it. So that was absolutely outstanding. Thank you very much. That was incredible value.
Yeah, I agree. I really like the personal responsibility. I mean, it just kind of takes it up a level from when you growing and you're reading everything, where do you go from there? You're just taking it into a more responsible personal level.
Totally, absolutely, 100%. Let's go over to Miriam.
There. Michelle, I almost I really did want to vote for you, but I had to vote for Shane. Because I had an aha moment when he was talking about these 6 things. And the aha moment was when he tied it into how we listen to our prospects. I mean, it's important to think about to see it in our own selves. But we also need to be aware of these tendencies or, these 6 things that stand in their way and help them through that. So, Shane, you got it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And let's go to Will and Paige.
Well, if Shane doesn't get 100% on this vote, then you will need to give the head a shake. Dude, that was so awesome. The part where you're talking about the addictions, and that thought loop, that is me just about every day at some point. It happens to me. I get into it and it doesn't stop, and to get out of it is tough. Luckily I have kids that wake up and get me out of it and get me going again, but that I felt like you were talking to me in that segment. I don't know, super powerful dude, you're awesome. So
yeah, I 100% agree. I thought I loved your story, so thank you very much for sharing. I found it very inspiring and very motivating, so thank you. But yeah, kind of going to just touching on what Will said about like the loop thought, like that loop thought can be so debilitating sometimes. Like it can totally ruin your day. And I find that when it happens to me, it seems to happen, it's most of the time kind of early evening, mid-evening, after my kids have gone down and I have kind of a quiet moment, my brain turns on and it will ruin my whole entire night sometimes. So, thank you so much for the things that you shared. I just thought it was super awesome. So
yeah, when are you coming back on? We want you back.
I don't know, man. Whenever you guys want me, I'm always around. I'm more than available. So
be careful.
I just want to say one thing is, understanding, love, empathy, and forgiveness of self and others. And to just when a loop thought comes up, sometimes you have to do a pattern interrupt, which could be play music, get creative, take some space, or do what Miriam does and just go just change something even physically to change those thoughts, to change your state. And sometimes they're vicious and they really fight for our attention, and we have to, but if you find that you're getting into a place where you're fighting about it, then all of a sudden you just want to stop and breathe. And just get those thoughts away. Remember that you are not your thoughts.
That was it. That's awesome. You said love, empathy, and what was the third one?
Forgiveness of self and others. Unconditionally, no matter what, fight for love.
Yeah, that's
and give grace to yourself and others, no matter what they've done, no matter what, always.
Love that.
Release everything, let go.
Well, let's go to you, Shane. What was your favorite part of the evening?
So I honestly, I'll give you a couple things. I really did enjoy Michelle, talking about the things, because it was a great reminder, and it was so in alignment with with what I teach. Well, I mean, I felt I did a pretty good job. I felt I loved, and the only reason I like what I did, and I don't like to say I vote for myself or whatever. The only reason I like to say that is because I just love the feedback that I got from you guys. It was great. I'm glad that it meant something to you, and if it made an impact or a change in your life, then I feel super happy about that. So
that is awesome. Yeah, absolutely. My vote also goes to you, Shane. My favorites, I wrote down personal responsibility answers the 6 things that you shared. That was a big takeaway for me. I repeated that. There's another thing you said is your environment's greater than your willpower. Was that what you said? Yeah, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like that was really powerful too. So I think there's a lot of stuff in there. So, all right, let's end the poll and let's see what you guys all voted for. Boop, 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 boop. Da, da, da. Congratulations, Shane! You are this week's Golden Belt winner, which means if you have the time, energy, effort, and strength to come back next Wednesday, you can come back and try to defend your Golden Belt title. We'd love to have you. He gives a thumbs up, guys. If you guys want Shane back next week, write it in the chat roll. Yes, 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 please. and then he'll be out next week to share some more amazingness. Super exciting. And as we do at the end, don't forget, guys, there is a VIP after party. Shane's VIP after party will be kicking off in about 15 minutes from now. I'm going to hit the stop share button. And as we always do at the end of the show, we give it back to the person who won the digital golden belt to share some closing words, statements, something good, something amazing, something that's all Shane tonight. He's on fire, folks. Shane, what do you got for us, man?
Oh man, okay guys, I got something. When it comes to mindful meditation, and I just want to play on Michelle's thing because this is my secret. I'm gonna give you my best secret. I love cleaning my house. So I make sure my wife goes somewhere, and then I get the mop and I get the towel and I clean everything spotless. Here's why. I meditate and I deeply reflect as I'm cleaning why everything is where it is. What meaning does it have? What meaning have I given it? Okay, does it have a meaning? Can I give it meaning? Why do I even need this? And so I am constantly cleansing and flushing and reorganizing everything because your house is a representation of your mind. And again, environment. So own your environment and make it a representation and a reflection of the state of your mind and consciousness. And deeply, deeply, deeply think. Every day, while you're mindfully meditating, think about your conversations and where you're at. Morally, spiritually, ethically, in everything, in every aspect, have you been loving and conscious and considerate in all areas, in all relationships of your life? Because we all want to expand into new territory. But while you're doing that, consider all things and solve problems for yourself and other people. That's it, guys.
Woo! All right, we'll see you at Shane's after party. The VIP after party's coming up, and we'll be back next week. Super excited for next week. Shane, thank you so much for being here. And guys, remember, power on. That's what we're all about.